Hey everyone! Today we're exploring another chilling and disturbing case. If you'd like to support the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay engaged. It really means a lot. I truly appreciate it. Now, take a deep breath and let's dive in. She gave him 14 years of loyalty, 2 beautiful children, and her entire heart. But on one ordinary afternoon, everything she thought she knew shattered. She walked into her bedroom, and what she saw made her question her sanity. A few minutes later, one woman was dead, and what the police uncovered after the blood dried, that was the real betrayal. April 12, 2022, Houston, Texas. Veronica Willis arrived home early from her nursing shift, holding takeout and planning to surprise her husband. Instead, she walked into her bedroom and found Marcus, her husband of 14 years, in bed with a half-naked young woman. Veronica didn't scream. She didn't cry. She picked up a heavy marble candle holder from the dresser and swung. By the time the police arrived, the woman, later identified as 26-year-old Kendra Bell, was dead. Veronica stood in shock, her clothes soaked in blood, whispering. She was in my bed. She knew what she was doing. Kendra Bell, a vibrant 26-year-old dental receptionist and aspiring influencer, was described by friends as kind, driven, and naive. She thought Marcus was separated, on the verge of divorce, and believed their relationship was real. But what Kendra didn't know was that Marcus had lied to her about everything. And when detectives searched Kendra's apartment, they found a handwritten note. He said his wife was crazy. He said she was dangerous. But she doesn't even know I exist, right? Veronica Willis, 38, mother, nurse, churchgoer, murderer? To the outside world, Veronica was the perfect wife. She and Marcus had 2 children, a strong reputation in their church, and what looked like an unshakable marriage. But behind closed doors, Veronica had grown suspicious. Marcus was staying out late, taking phone calls in secret, showering as soon as he came home. And when Veronica discovered a $750,000 life insurance policy in her name, with Marcus as the sole beneficiary, her gut told her something was terribly wrong. She never expected the betrayal to be sexual. She thought he might be planning to kill her. The crime seemed open and shut. A jealous wife catches her husband cheating and snaps. But when detectives dug deeper, things stopped adding up. Marcus wasn't just having an affair. He had emptied their joint savings account. He had forged Veronica's signature on a life insurance policy, and he had recently searched online for how to stage a suicide. Even more chilling, on Marcus's hidden burner phone, police found messages between him and an unidentified contact, discussing how to get rid of her cleanly. Detectives started asking a different question. Did Veronica catch Marcus cheating, or did she interrupt something far more sinister? As the trial approached, prosecutors painted Veronica as a jealous, violent woman, but her defense team had a bombshell. They had obtained footage from a private investigator Veronica had hired just weeks earlier, footage that showed Marcus entering a motel with a different woman, not Kendra. And then came the most chilling discovery of all. Kendra had been pregnant, 2 months along, and the child wasn't Marcus's. In a shocking turn, Marcus was arrested in the middle of Veronica's preliminary hearing for conspiracy to commit murder. But he wasn't alone. A second suspect had been working behind the scenes. Someone close to the family. Someone no one suspected. After Veronica's arrest, investigators kept digging and uncovered mounting evidence against Marcus. Not only had he forged a life insurance policy on Veronica, he had also been wiring large sums of money to an unregistered business account under the name Yale Services. But that business didn't exist. Police traced the account to a woman named Elaine Patterson, a family friend, Veronica's cousin, and the Willis children's godmother. Elaine was a quiet presence at every family gathering. She often helped Veronica babysit the kids, attended church with them, and even gave her relationship advice when Marcus started acting distant. But what no one knew was that Elaine and Marcus had been having an affair for nearly 3 years. Text messages revealed that Elaine hated Veronica, calling her naive and a weak liability. Worse, she had encouraged Marcus to take out the insurance policy. In one message, she wrote, "Once she's gone, we'll finally have our lives. No more lies. No more church masks. just freedom and that money. It wasn't just adultery. It was conspiracy to murder Veronica and collect a payout. In this story, we learn that Kendra Bell, the mistress who was killed, was pregnant. But autopsy results now revealed a shocking truth. The baby wasn't Marcus's. It belonged to a different man, a married dentist in the clinic where Kendra worked. Which begs a question. Why was Kendra at Veronica's house that day? She didn't belong there. She never had. And the answer turned the investigation upside down. Detectives now believe Kendra was lured to the house. Text logs on her phone show that Elaine contacted her, pretending to be Marcus, and asked her to come over. Kendra was told Veronica would be out, and that Marcus wanted to talk in private. But when Veronica arrived home unexpectedly and found Kendra in bed with her husband, it wasn't just betrayal. It was a setup. The working theory? Elaine wanted Veronica to catch them. She counted on Veronica to snap. Because if Veronica went to prison for murder, Marcus would be free, and Elaine would have everything she ever wanted. Everything made sense, except for one thing. If Marcus and Elaine wanted Veronica out of the picture, why kill Kendra? Why set up her instead of Veronica? That's when a new witness came forward. An anonymous tipster claiming they had access to Elaine's private journal. And in it was a line that stopped detectives cold. Kendra knows. If she talks, it's all over. Police now believe Kendra discovered the murder plot against Veronica and threatened to expose it. So Marcus and Elaine set her up to silence her, using Veronica as a weapon. But the tipster who gave him Elaine's journal? He's missing. And what he knew might blow this case wide open. After the bombshell reveal of Elaine Patterson's journal, where she wrote, Kendra knows. If she talks, it's all over. Investigators scrambled to locate the anonymous man who handed over the pages. He had sent everything via encrypted email, calling himself JD. He claimed to be Elaine's ex-boyfriend and said he had proof that Kendra discovered the murder plot against Veronica just days before her death. But just 48 hours after making contact, JD vanished. No phone activity. Apartment cleaned out. Security cameras from his building wiped. Police believe someone silenced him, with the journal pages now evidence. Detectives obtained a court order to dig into Marcus's phone history. One voicemail, dated the night before Kendra's murder. You said you were loyal. Now I hear you're talking to people about things that don't concern you. If you open your mouth, you destroy all of us. You know what happens next. The voice was Marcus's, and Kendra never told anyone she had received it. Until now. The narrative was that Veronica killed Kendra in a rage, but new forensic evidence tells a different story. Initially, Kendra's cause of death was listed as blunt force trauma to the skull, inflicted by Veronica's attack. But a private forensic pathologist, hired by Kendra's mother, discovered something strange. Kendra had trace amount of chloral hydrate in her system, a powerful sedative often used in date rape drugs. But Veronica never administered it. It had to have been given to Kendra hours before she died. This raised a terrifying possibility. Was Kendra drugged before the wife even arrived? And if so, by who? Prosecutors now believe Kendra's death was premeditated by Marcus and Elaine. Marcus lured her to the house, promising privacy. Elaine slipped her a sedative in a drink. Veronica came home early, unexpectedly, and when she found Kendra unconscious in her bed, the rage took over. But here's the twist. Marcus may have intended for Kendra to die either way, and counted on Veronica to finish the job. That way, Veronica goes to prison. Kendra's loose ends are silenced. Marcus and Elaine walk away with money and freedom. A perfect murder, except for one thing. Elaine, now in custody, refused to speak until she received a surprise visit from her mother. Just 24 hours later, Elaine asked to speak to detectives privately. According to sources close to the investigation, she made a partial confession. It wasn't supposed to be Kendra. He changed the plan without telling me. He said she was becoming a liability. Detectives pressed further. What do you mean, change the plan? Was someone else supposed to die? Elaine fell silent and asked for a lawyer. Elaine's confession cracks open a terrifying possibility. Marcus didn't just manipulate Veronica. He didn't just silence Kendra. He might have a pattern of using women to clean up his messes and then discarding them when they knew too much. Because now, police have reopened the file on another woman, an ex-girlfriend of Marcus's, who died under suspicious circumstances 6 years ago. Her name? Danielle Chambers. And her body was found in a motel room with the same drug Kendra had in her system. 6 years earlier, in 2016, a woman named Danielle Chambers, 33, was found dead in a Houston motel. Cause of death, accidental overdose. Substance found in her system? Chloral hydrate. No forced entry. No signs of struggle. Case ruled closed within weeks. But new investigators took a second look. Danielle had been dating Marcus Willis at the time of her death. He was not mentioned in the original police report. There was no toxicology follow-up. No phone record were pulled. And no one asked why a respected preacher and insurance broker was secretly meeting a woman in a budget motel the night she died. Danielle, Kendra, Veronica, all women Marcus had intimate ties to. All at some point were considered in the way. All manipulated, some fatally. When detectives cross-referenced Marcus's phone data, they found something disturbing. Danielle had texted Marcus the night she died. "If you don't tell her, I will." Kendra wrote something eerily similar just 2 days before she was killed. "I'm not keeping secrets for you anymore. She deserves to know." Marcus had a pattern. And now, investigators believe he may have a history of preying on women to eliminate obstacles. Meanwhile, Elaine Patterson, still behind bars, makes a call to a friend. It's recorded. You think he's sitting in that cell regretting anything? Nah, Marcus doesn't feel guilt. He gets other people to do his dirty work. He did it to Danielle. He did it to me. And now he's doing it to Veronica. This was the first time someone inside the case said it plainly. Veronica may have been framed from the very beginning. Veronica's legal team now has a new defense theory. She didn't commit murder. She reacted to a situation engineered to trigger violence. A manipulated woman, pushed to the edge by a husband plotting her death, walking into a scene designed to destroy her sanity. But prosecutors still insist. Veronica killed a woman. The blows were brutal. The victim was unarmed. And the public? Still divided. Some see Veronica as a victim. Others as a murderer hiding behind betrayal. Facing 30 years in prison, Elaine enters a plea deal in exchange for a full confession. And what she says in her final interrogation tape stuns the room. Kendra found out everything. About the policy. About the plan. About Danielle. Marcus said we needed to clean it up, but I didn't know he meant her. He told me to get her to the house. Said he'd take care of the rest. I never thought Veronica would walk in, but he did. Marcus counted on it. He wanted Veronica to be the one holding the weapon, because if she went to prison, no one would ever believe she was the real victim. With Elaine's confession and a reopened case into Danielle's death, Marcus is now facing multiple murder conspiracy charges. But just days before his arraignment, Marcus disappears. He's gone from a secured holding cell, and the last security footage shows a guard letting him out with a smile, who helped him escape. And what is Marcus planning now? July 3rd, 2025, Harris County Jail, Houston. At 3:42 a.m., Marcus Willis was escorted out of his maximum security holding cell by Correctional Officer Dwayne Keller, a guard with a spotless 15-year record. The security footage shows Dwayne inputting the override code and guiding Marcus through the back hallway. There was no struggle, no panic. Marcus was wearing civilian clothes. 2 hours later, Keller's car was found abandoned on I-45. The engine still running. The trunk empty. No Keller. No Marcus. Just a note taped to the dashboard that read, "The truth always finds its way home." 2 days later, a handwritten letter arrives at the county jail addressed to Veronica. The handwriting is Marcus's. It reads, "You always thought you knew me, but you never saw the full picture. You were never meant to die, but now you'll understand why others had to." Chillingly, the envelope was postmarked from New Orleans, but when investigators searched the location, it was empty. Another dead end. Veronica is placed under 24-hour watch. But she knows something the police don't. Marcus doesn't run. He finishes what he starts. Cybercrime investigators dig into Marcus's cloud storage, trying to locate any plans, contacts, or travel routes. What they find is horrifying. Marcus had files on multiple women, not just Danielle and Kendra. Notes on their routines, passwords, family members, insurance records, even drafts of forged documents. Among the names is one no one expected, Elaine Patterson. It appears Marcus was planning to eliminate her too, after she served her purpose. Every woman who got close to him was disposable. Marcus is officially listed as armed and dangerous. The FBI joins a manhunt. Tips flood in from Georgia, Louisiana, and Mississippi. A confirmed sighting places Marcus disguised as a street preacher in Baton Rouge, just blocks away from a women's shelter where he once volunteered. Authorities believe he's using his religious persona to hide in plain sight, moving through churches and shelters under aliases like Brother Eli and Pastor Jameson. But then, something worse happens. July 10th, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. A woman named Stephanie Ray, 29, is found dead in her apartment. She had recently reported a man named Eli for stalking her, claiming he said, "You remind me of someone I used to love." Cause of death: blunt force trauma. Sedative in her bloodstream: chloral hydrate. Marcus's signature. Her name wasn't even in his file. She was simply a look-alike, a woman who resembled Veronica. Authorities now believe Marcus is rehearsing, each victim a test run, each step bringing him closer to Veronica. But the final twist? Veronica receives a second letter. Inside it is a photo of her children at school, taken just 2 days ago, and scrawled on the back, "If I can't have you, I'll take what you love most." After receiving the letter with a photo of her kids, Veronica is placed in protective custody. Her children, ages 9 and 14, are pulled from school and moved to a safe house under 24-hour federal surveillance. The FBI believes Marcus is nearby. Security is tripled. Helicopters patrol the neighborhood. Sniper teams are stationed near the safe house. But deep down, Veronica knows something the agents don't. Marcus doesn't break in. He gets invited. Reviewing surveillance in the school, the FBI notices a car parked across the street for 3 consecutive days prior to the photo being taken. The vehicle is registered to Lana Willis, Marcus's estranged half-sister, a woman Veronica hadn't spoken to in years. When questioned, Lana denies knowing anything. But text messages between her and Marcus surface from an old burner phone. Marcus: "They took my babies from me. You know what you have to do." Lana: "She ruined your life. I'll get them back." It's now clear Marcus is inside help, and Lana may have just helped him locate the safe house. July 12, 2025, 2:34 a.m. An armed man in a ski mask attempts to breach the side of the safe house. He doesn't get far. FBI agents engage him immediately. In the gunfire exchange, the man is shot dead. But when they unmask him, he isn't Marcus. He's someone worse, a former cellmate of Marcus's, recently released. In his wallet, investigators find a slip of paper that says, "Get the girl. Wait for the call." It's clear now. Marcus is coordinating a network of allies to reach Veronica and her kids, and he's getting closer. Later that day, a third letter arrives. No return address. Same handwriting. This time, it's addressed to Veronica's daughter, Ariel. Inside is a drawing. Stick figures of a family. Mom, dad, 2 kids. The father is holding a shovel. The mother has a red X over her face. The words, "Let's start over," are written in red ink. Agents are horrified. Veronica collapses. She realizes Marcus isn't trying to hurt her. He's trying to rebuild the family, without her in it. During interrogation, Lana breaks. She admits she's been helping Marcus since his arrest, feeding him intel, wiring money, even coordinating with a religious group in Mississippi to hide in between cities. But then she says something that changes the case entirely. This was never about Kendra, never about the money. He told me this started with Danielle, that she made him do something. That Veronica covered it up. Investigators freeze. Danielle Chambers, the woman found dead in a motel 6 years ago, was believed to be an early victim of Marcus. But what if Veronica was somehow involved? The question now isn't just, can they stop Marcus before he kills again? It's, was Veronica just another one of Marcus's victims? Or has she been hiding something this entire time? Because a long-buried voicemail from 2016, found in an old phone backup, has just been recovered. And in it, Danielle Chambers says, "I can't do this anymore. If she finds out what we did, she'll never forgive me. Tell Veronica the truth before it's too late. Tell Veronica the truth before it's too late." Danielle Chambers' voicemail, recorded 6 years earlier and never played, until now, shocks both the investigators and the public. What truth was she talking about? Investigators dig deeper into Danielle's history, and what they find reframes the entire case. Danielle wasn't just Marcus's ex. She was Veronica's best friend in nursing school, and for 6 months, she was also Veronica's secret lover. Court records, private emails, and recovered texts reveal a truth Veronica had buried for years. She and Danielle were involved in a secret romantic relationship. While Veronica was married to Marcus, Danielle became pregnant and claimed Marcus was the father, but Veronica believed otherwise. Danielle threatened to expose both affairs, and just days later, she was found dead in a motel room, ruled an overdose. Case closed. Until now, a chilling theory begins to form. What if Veronica didn't just kill Kendra in a blind rage? What if Danielle was the first woman Veronica eliminated? Investigators retest Danielle's old blood samples with advanced forensics. The result? She wasn't just sedated. She had a high dose of midazolam, a hospital-grade sedative, only available in medical facilities. Veronica was working the night shift at the hospital that week. She had full access. July 14, 2025, FBI safe house. In an unprecedented move, the FBI allows Veronica to speak to Marcus via secure video call. They believe she might draw him out of hiding. But what happens during the call shocks even seasoned agents. Veronica doesn't beg. She doesn't cry. She apologizes. "I didn't mean for her to die. I just wanted her to leave us alone." And then you turn it all into something monstrous. Marcus stares into the camera and says, "We were made for each other, V. You just hit it better than I did." Moments after the call ends, agents trace Marcus's location to an abandoned church in Lafayette, Louisiana. They storm the building. No Marcus, but in the pulpit, there's a box. Inside, family photos burned around the edges. A baby blanket from Veronica's first child. A handwritten note that says, "You took her from me. Now I'll take everything from you." And on the back, one last sermon, one last goodbye. "Meet me where it all began." Veronica knows where that is. The motel where Danielle died. Agents try to stop her, but she disappears before they can react. Hours later, she arrives alone at the old Suncrest Motel, room 208. Marcus is waiting, armed, bleeding, and smiling. We don't see what happens next. Only this, a single gunshot. Silence. 2 officers enter the room minutes later. One man is dead. One woman is on the floor, sobbing. But which one survived? The screen cuts to black. 1 week later, a funeral is held. The casket is closed. The tombstone reads, Marcus R. Willis, 1981 to 2025. The media declares Veronica survived. She's released without further charges. Insufficient evidence in Danielle's case. But the public remains divided. Was she a victim, or the perfect accomplice who got away? A package is delivered to a Houston news station. No return address. Inside, a flash drive, one video. Marcus, in a dim room, months before his escape. He looks directly into the camera. If you're watching this, it means I'm gone. But just remember, she killed first. What are your thoughts on this case? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with more stories, where each case isn't just about crime, but also offers a lesson for life.